Yo, this is Mykki Blanco, and you are listening to Dazed Radar Radio. This is that track, Fendi Band, off of Mykki, self-titled. I'm having fun in the sun. I'm having fun in the sun. Fuck being low-key. I'm never low with it, slow with it. Finesse you right up and dive in and stick my nose in it. No limit soldier, I'm like whoa there. Make you feel so good, Holy Ghost, I'm up, oh yeah. Black Madam, baby, I'm Morticia Adams. Don Blanco coming through in a silk yogi suit. My cocaine trail is snow white, body's blue. I got your face boot. Mykki flowing in the club off the Afghan Kush. I employ some headhunters, but I ain't from the bush. We gonna burn all you evil ass cops. We ain't bluffing with you ops. I hope you motherfuckers run. Vende, Vici, fleece the sucker, leave him nothing, son. I hear you acting up, go get the switch. I said I'm Jack the Ripper, trapping, look they scared. Why y'all scared? Night vision, pimping all you silent lands beware. I'm buried under the club, ghost on the rhythm. Blanco spew the venom like a Marvel comic villain. Easy, hypnotize these breezies with that sleazy shit. Straight jacket, duct tape, handcuffing whips. Versace bracelet, that's last year. Fendi Band on my left hand. Telescope with that deep swirl, you been a bad boy, I'm like, yes ma'am. Teacher comes with a real bitch, no send air like a scratch a sniff. Where the OG, give me perk. I said, why you so thoughty? Why? Why you so naughty? Why? Why you so thoughty? Why? Why you so naughty? Prada jeans on my backside, Fendi Band on my left hand. Prada jeans on my backside, Fendi Band on my left hand. Prada jeans on my backside, Fendi Band on my left hand. Prada jeans on my backside. We come to town, posted up, and we just laugh at y'all. You would joke to us, dance, bitch, ha-cha-cha. Fire flame, I got the spice, I'm sriracha. Eat my sweet white ink and court that shit, her chocolate. No sleep with the boys unless he goody. No fucking with these rookies, talking about that nookie. No sleep with the boys unless he goody. No fucking with these rookies, I said, why you so thoughty? Why? Why you so naughty? Why? Why you so thoughty? Why? Why you so naughty? Prada jeans on my backside, Fendi Band on my left hand. Prada jeans on my backside, Fendi Band on my left hand.
Okay, so today we've got Mykki Blanco in the studio. Thank you so much for coming in.
What's up, Radar? Wait, no, why do I sound like such a narc? What's up? Hey, Radar. Hi.
Yeah.
Hello, hi.
So Mykki's here for the Dazed show on Radar, and we're super happy to have you here because since we started doing this, actually, like, you've been the guest, well, one of the guests that we've always like had on like a pedestal that we wanted to get in. So thank you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Well, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about basically the last sort of 7 months, first of all. So you had Mykki's self-titled album come out just at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And it's just been crazy for you since then. So I want to talk to you a bit about that album and where that came from, first of all.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just be honest. Like I was super nervous about like working on an album because, you know, like I had started out with mixtape. Well, I started out, first of all, not thinking I was going to become like a freaking... Can you curse on the radio here?
Yes.
I started, you know, not really, I kind of stumbling into becoming a fucking rapper. Like, and like, you know, like I was like performance artist. Like I was like, went to art school. I dropped out of art school twice. Like, I mean, I was like a little anarchist punk kid. Like you know, like there's just a lot of shit I really didn't care about. And so then all of a sudden, like, you get all this attention and you start making music and people says it's good. And then all of a sudden you're doing music videos and like all of a sudden you have a manager and like your whole entire kind of concept of the world or yourself and all that changes. And you're like, okay, I guess I'm going to be an entertainer. I guess I'm going to try and be famous. And then you realize, well, wait, hold on. You shouldn't try to be famous. You should just try to make really cool, good shit. And so, you know, with a lot of my projects before, they were always super concept driven. It's like I came out with a mixtape called Gay Dog Food, and that was like my attempt at trying to make like a feminist grunge hip hop record. Before that, I had an EP called Betty Rebel. That was like me trying to make a mixture of like hip hop that was influenced by acid house and also by like industrial and goth music. And then, you know, like my roots were in like noise music, you know. So when it came to do an album, first of all, there was 2 years where
like I should have come out with an album earlier, and the only reason that I didn't is because no label would give me like the time of day. Like I had a meeting with Capitol Records, like they passed on me. I had a meeting that I thought went insanely well with XL Records. They passed on me. So it was like nobody was giving me the means to like create an album. And as an independent artist, there are only so many handouts you're going to get after a while, you know? And like there's only so many times people are going to think what you're doing is like new and fresh until you get that boost. So, you know, in 2015, like literally right when I was, and also my personal life, I had not become public yet about being HIV positive. So there's a lot of shit that was going on where I was like, do I want to kind of keep struggling to like make this album and to like be this better artist, or like I am also good at other shit. I could like do something else. I could like do something else and like not do this and like not worry about like the public being in my personal life and all this shit. And right in that window when I really felt like giving up on music and giving up on like doing this entertainment stuff, this label service, this actually legendary label service called K7 swooped in, and I got an email in my inbox one day that was like, hey, we've heard that basically that you're trying to create an album, and we've looked at your trajectory and we've looked at the stuff that you've done in the past, and we look at like the fact that like you're actually a really hardworking independent artist that we feel that we could get behind to help you make an album. And they did. And then through them, through K7, I started Dog Food Music Group, which is like my mini label through K7, my imprint, and they came out with my album. And you know, it's like that enabled me to have the distribution, that enabled me to have the push of a major label without having to sign to a label. You know what I mean? It's just, and also because I'd already built up, you know, this audience, you know, on my own as Mykki Blanco. So I'll be honest, like I was scared at first because like I had never written songs about myself. I'd never really talked about my personal life. And also I had to face the fact that like I didn't start in this industry as a musician. I really started as an entertainer and a performer who's really through each album, through each project, through each mixtape has had to learn how to become a better musician. So it's like, you know, like I knew I wanted the production of my music to be better. I knew that I wanted to take more time with it. But what a lot of people don't understand is like when you're an independent musician and you're literally only making money off of shows and just hustling from show to show to show to show, recording is expensive. Like all that shit and all that time, it's a privilege to have a label give you some money or give you some time and to be able to like set that aside and make a good album. And when K7 facilitated that for me, for the first time in my entire like 4.5, well now it's 5 years, but in the first time at that moment at my 4.5 year career was the first time anybody ever just gave me the luxury of not having to play a show and just write and record music for 7 months. And I think that's why my album turned out good, because I feel like I had that inside of me, but that with each project before that, it was only halfway coming out. It was like the hustle was always competing with like the creativity, and I was never just allowed to be creative. And then when I had that moment of time when I could just be creative, I think that's why my album, and even though I had songs like Wavy and Haze Boogie Life and songs that were popular, I feel like why this album is good and why people have responded so well to this album in its entirety is because it is my best work to date, because I was able to just be creative.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a beautiful album. Like, I was revisiting it like the last few days when I knew that you were coming on, just listening to it, and it is such an amazing like body of work. But I wanted to talk to you about the fact that you just touched on it briefly, that you were like super honest on this album. So how did it feel, not just as like a performer, but as a human, to be able to express yourself? Like, was it scary?
I would say it was awkward, because like when you write a song about like taking ecstasy at a rave and staying up all night and then being in your friend's car and then like, you know, like and fucking hitchhiking like in like Southern California, or like eating out of a dumpster, or like I don't know, just when you write about like these experiences that are outside of yourself, you know, then you become the narrator and they can become this adventure that everyone can go on. But I did know this, that every artist that I admire, there comes a point in a time when you like, where the persona of who they are has to be sliced open for you to actually have respect for them as a person, because like this person is a person. And I don't know too many people who have longevity in their careers who are just caricatures. And I felt that people had this idea of who Mykki Blanco was, but that it was not becoming more caricature, but that it was still more in this caricature place of rather than being like, oh, this is who Mykki Blanco is. This is what Mykki Blanco's struggle has been. This is what Mykki Blanco actually is in their real life. You know, it's really funny because like, a lot of times I just had this happen actually. Sometimes because I think I've been so aggressive in my music and I've been so like aggressive like with some of the things I've said online and just like with some of the militancy that I feel like I've had to adopt just as a gay man in this industry. I feel that people think that I'm gonna be like a really, really intense like person to meet or talk to. And if you actually hang out with me a lot, I'm kind of like a little quiet and like I see myself as like just kind of like really like super chill. So maybe I'm not that chill, but like, you know, it's like, it was awkward because it's like, okay, I'm talking about romance, which I never had. I wrote a song about coming out as HIV positive, you know what I mean? Which is not, I mean, let's be real, like HIV is not a fun thing to talk about. So it's like, and because of the stigma around it, it doesn't make people feel fun to listen to it, you know what I mean? But I was like, fuck it, like this is a part of my experience. And then also, you know what I mean? Like, I have one song where I like, you know, I paraphrase, you know, just some of the stuff about when I was first coming up in New York City. I think I was like, I used to rave hard. I used to pop pills. I had a sugar daddy in Queens to pay with bills. I used to sell drugs. I used to talk, you know, I worked in galleries without a salary. No, but that's one little thing. But then a song like High School Never Ends, where I worked with Woodkid, and it was really working with Woodkid that honestly really like, how can I put this, like reconfigure my whole entire creative process. Woodkid was the first time I ever worked with a producer, and like we didn't start at 4 p.m. with a glass of whiskey and a blunt. It was like I went to Paris, we woke up in the morning at 8 o'clock, we were in the studio by 9. You know, we worked from 9 to 12. We had lunch. We stopped. We came back. We worked from 2 to 7, and then or 2 to 9 in the evening, and then we stopped for the day. Like, working with him was the first time where I was like, you can approach this as a job, and actually approaching it this way, you'll probably get better results in the studio, you know what I mean? And also working with Woodkid opened me up to a kind of instrumentation, and like I said, working with him also gave me that one more step in mentorship of not just being an entertainer, but actual musicianship.
Yeah, I mean, that was another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, is that obviously you said that you used to do those things, but you have been touring non-stop. I mean, you've been on the road a lot. There was like the Cake's the Killer as well, and like that was wild. Like, I was following it, and how do you keep up? Like, how do you do all this stuff?
I keep up because to be quite honest, I'll say this, the manager that I have now is nuts. He's really good, but he's nuts. And the first manager that I had was really good and was nuts. And I say this, the first manager that I had, you would have thought the way that he pushed me and worked me that I was like Rihanna. I seriously, because I remember having other people that were in my same kind of tier of artists at that time, and I'd be like, sometimes I complain. I'd be like, why do you have me doing this many shows? Why am I doing this many interviews? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm not no pop star. Like, you have me working, like, I'm on like I'm out here making like the money to like be able to like work this hard. Like, why am I working this hard? No one else seems to be like having to do all of this. But now, to be honest, I know the reason why I can handle all this stuff. It's because I've never had that major label push. I've never had, a song on the radio. I have had songs that were popular, but I have to face the reality of what my career is. And my career is that I have to bust my ass. I have to bust my ass to make a certain amount of money. I have to bust my ass to be able to take these flights and go on these trips and to do some of the semi-glamorous shit that I do. I have to bust my ass to be able to show directors and people that I'm willing to go the distance to make a quality video so that the next time that I need funding for a video, it comes easier. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't mind being a working artist because I have realized the more you bust your ass, even if you don't have that celebrity push, people will treat you with that respect because they know you bust your ass.
Yeah. You just mentioned a video. So I want to talk like briefly about I Want to Dyke for President.
Yeah, Zoe.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a political statement, and I feel like at the moment there's like lots of artists. There's some artists who are like addressing this stuff and talking about it, and then there's other people who just want to pretend that it's not happening. Music is escapism. It's going to be nice, and we're not going to talk about these difficult subjects. So why do you talk about the difficult subjects? Why don't you just make nice songs, do good shows, and then go home at the end of the night?
Well, you know what? I feel like I try to do both because, like, I do believe because there is. Let me put it like this: I feel like I try to do both, but I hopefully I try to be a little smart about it because it's like. I do like I do just love like an escapist dance track, you know what I mean? Like that's just like something that because that's gonna feel good in the club because it's like you get so much rhetoric on the news, on Twitter, on like on your social media feeds, on Instagram. I mean, you get so much of the rhetoric, but you know I have made a point, especially on this last tour. You know, like when I play that song, "High School Never Ends," there's a point in the track where you know I say, you know, we must. You know, we must have respect for all people, but we must, and I make the crowd repeat after me. I'm like, we must protect black children. And then I say, you know, we must have respect for all people, but we must protect trans women. And or depending on where I'm at in the world, I'll say trans people or queer people. But, you know, I try to, how can I put this? I try to walk the line because sometimes somebody in my position who's like a gay, you know, black, okay, queer, you know, HIV positive artist, sometimes people without me even wanting them to will always put all this political stuff on me. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'll think, well, damn, why can't I just have fun? Or why can't I just come out with a track and it be like fun and have everybody just feel like it's fun? You know what I mean? So it's like a double-sided coin, but I will say this. I like who I am in this. I do like who I am in this industry. And I know and I know that may not always be the most popular position, but I know that it's necessary. And I own that now. I used to feel uncomfortable with that, but now I own that because I see where I can utilize power in it. You know what I mean? And I can be fun and I can do that stuff. You know what I mean?